Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor, I'm the man on the Silver Mountain, and welcome back. Now today I wanted to talk about the other part of awareness that we started covering at the beginning of the week, and that is situational awareness. Now this is very much more outside of us, self-awareness. We're always with ourselves. It can be difficult to kind of get to really break down the barriers between us being us and us knowing us. But for the most part, you're always with yourself. It's not a thing that you can run away from or get clear of. Situational awareness, though, is more a set of transferable skills that are important when it comes into pretty much anywhere, be it a stressful, dangerous situation, be it a nervous, nerve-wracking situation, be it a friendly situation. To ensure that things, to ensure that things always come out on the more positive end of things. Being aware of your situation, the changing environment that you're in, and so on and so forth is really, really useful. And so as a result, I've got a few things here that I'd just like to go through with you. So the first thing, and possibly the most important thing in regards to this, is being kind of calm and having a way to keep yourself calm and kind of just relaxed. Yeah, the more stressed out and more wound up a person gets, the less clearly they think, the more kind of disorganized their thoughts get, the more they lose track of certain things, and that's not something that aids in awareness at all, especially not awareness of an ever-changing environment that you are, quite frankly, just living in. There is no environment that remains 100% static all the time. And so, as a result, after you've managed to keep yourself calm, like with the things that I would do would be, again, taking deep breaths, just putting myself into the mindset of, okay, well, I need to take a step back here. I need to see the bigger picture. Yeah, and usually now, again, it took practice. It took time for me to get used to just putting myself in that kind of mindset. But for the most part, it takes. Now I just have to recognize that I need to do it, and that I've actually slipped into a less organized, less calmed state, and I'm able to pull myself back from it. It's just that realization, that awareness, of that self awareness, that just requires that sudden kind of realization that someone's turned the lights out and I just need to turn them back on. You know. So the next thing about this the whole situational awareness thing is, for the most part, it's a process. It's observation followed by recognition, followed by filtering, followed by planning and action. And so, in regards to the first step, kind of, you need to improve your observational skills. Be that through any number of tools online where they're like, take a look at this picture. Right now, scroll down and take a look at the. You've got 60 seconds to look at this picture. Scroll down and take a look at these questions and answer all of them. Yeah, the more you do those kind of things, the more you will just naturally improve your observational skills. You'll get used to noticing more small details. People watching. I love people watching. Just going out whilst I'm running errands or something, and just keeping an eye on the people around me, seeing what they're doing, following the patterns in behaviour, following the ways the kind of people add up as archetypes, or how much they exemplify stereotypes and things like that. It's fascinating, but also in doing so, it allows me to notice other small details, and because I'm seeing them more frequently as a result of observing this larger kind of data set, if you like, it kind of gives me more in the way of familiarity with where I should be looking, what I should be looking for in regards to kind of where I'm going and what I'm doing, and how I'm dealing with stuff. So again, body language, big one to keep an eye out for. People who are uncomfortable are more likely to cross their arms, or kind of have one arm across their body in a defensive kind of thing. People who are kind of stood and open but often leant forward are potentially being more imposing, even if they're not meaning to be. And then watching the reaction on the other side of that, what the other person is doing. Are they becoming more defensive and crossing their arms and kind of hiding behind themselves, or are they becoming very much confrontational and kind of stepping forward and remaining open, pushing their chest out and kind of directly confronting that person. There's so much more there to pick up on. And I feel like, again, some of these situations that we are seeing arise from really stupid things, like some of these accusations against people for things like harassment, and it's like some of these people have not harassed, because harassment is, as I said in other videos on this subject, it's systematic, it's continuous, but it's been misconstrued through a misunderstanding of what harassment is, and also through just a really poor reading of the situation by seemingly both people. Yeah, like a nervous guy who's not particularly attractive coming up and asking someone maybe twice in the course of the whole time that they know each other, if that other person would like to go out, and them not reading the situation correctly, be it not reading someone's body language or tone or anything like that correctly, it can lead to essentially false accusations. It can lead to hurt feelings. It can lead to fights and falling outs, and especially in places like workplaces, if these things happen, then it blows up to HR. It blows up to people losing jobs and losing livelihood and all that kind of thing as well. In which case, that level of observation and reading the situation and practicing it is really, really useful. And part of observation as well is making sure that you pay attention to all of your senses. Not just we're very visual creatures, so making sure that it's not just what you're seeing, but also what you're hearing and what you're feeling inside, and the way that your body is reacting. Your body, after all, is there to try and help you survive. So, let it do its job, because sometimes gut feelings, massive pain in the ass, always getting in the way and whatever else. But goddamn, it's there. Those feelings that you're having are there to keep you alive and try and keep you in the best state possible. Listen to it. Treat it with some skepticism. Rationally break down what it's telling you, but listen to it. The next kind of thing in regards to recognition is based off memory. It's based off things that we've seen before. So again, look to improve your memory. Look to improve what you can remember. So some people just naturally have good memories. Other people, not so much. But the thing is, it's always going in. Yeah, your brain's still functioning. It's always going in. When it comes to improving your memory, there are all manner of brain games and things online, or that you can get hold of on your phone or whatever else, that will allow you to improve your memory through, again, memory games and kind of, as said, even the little test that I was talking about earlier, where you take a look at a picture for like 30 to 60 seconds and then answer some questions. Not only are you checking your observational skills, but you're also having to test your memory just a little bit. So, those kind of things are really important. And as I've said before as well, when it comes to people forgetting stuff, you never actually really 100% forget anything until you choose to forget it. So if you've got something that's come into your head and then you say you've forgotten it, or if you're trying to remember something because it's important and then it just won't come, then instead of going, oh, I can't remember, oh, I've forgotten it, that's your brain, that's you giving the brain the excuse to stop working on that thing. Instead, go, it'll come back to me, I'll remember in a minute. Yeah, that, even if you stop focusing on it, that pushes your mind to keep thinking about it, to keep working on it in the background so that it comes up. Yeah, it's as we've talked about in regards to reframing and stuff last week, it's a case of just shifting stuff around just a little bit, just so that it kind of churns its way up to the surface. And so then you need to take a look. So we've got the observation side of things down. We've noticed our patterns, we've seen our situation, we've noticed the elements of it and the things that are moving, all the bits and pieces going on. We've recognized the things that we're seeing, we know what they are, we know which ones are relevant, which ones aren't, so we've filtered them out as well based on that recognition. Now it's all about planning and acting. And planning and acting, you always want to look at what's going to be best for you in the future, but what you can do about it now. This is what we've been talking about in regards to some of the stuff I've told you guys about Grow, and some of the things that we've talked about in regards to coaching stuff before. Like, you want to take a look at the not just the what you want and how you've filtered things down, but also where you want to be and how you can get there. So if you're in a situation where, again, you're wanting to just have a nice evening with friends, and you've been kind of keeping track of the situation, who's talking to who's doing what, all that kind of thing, then the next thing to keep, after you've filtered out what could go wrong and what's likely to go wrong and all those other patterns and things that you've been keeping track of, in regards to, say, oh, well, I know that person and this person, if they come together when they're both drunk, they're going to cause a shit show, and so we need to try and avoid that. Then it's a case of, right, well, the plan is that you want to, the goal is you want to have a nice evening. The things that might get in the way are these two basically flipping tables at each other. And so the plan would then be to, well, you're going to have to communicate to your other friends. You're going to have to try and limit what those people are drinking. You're going to have to try and keep them apart if they do drink too much, and so on and so forth. And then it's a case of, right, so that's the plan. What can I do now? And the first thing that you can obviously do is communicate to the others around you. Yeah, it's a kind of relaxed example there, maybe, but again, it's the same method could be pulled out and brought into a more stressful situation where, I don't know, you're at work, you've observed your surroundings, which includes potentially a very dangerous workplace, depending on where you work. You've filtered out the things that can go wrong and could go wrong based on you recognizing what's in the environment. At which point then you're looking at planning forward. Well, I want to get through my shift. No one wants to get hurt. I don't want to have to do a risk assessment. I don't want to have to go and call an ambulance, and whatever else. But we still need to get this job done, and so on. At which point, then, what can you do about it now? Well, you can make sure that you follow procedure. You can make sure that you log things properly, that equipment is taken care of, and so on and so forth. And it's a transferable set of skills based on simple stuff like observation, recognition, the filtering and planning and stuff that we all basically do on a day-to-day basis. This is just taking notice of the fact that we do it and enhancing those capabilities, rehearsing them, practicing them, making them work better and harder for us, rather than just having them be things that happen in our heads that can't sometimes do well by us, but other times just completely remove themselves from us and leave us in a lurch. So, these are the things that I would say. Are there any other things that you would add to this, guys? Let me know down in the comments below. But otherwise, I hope you find this useful, because these are the kind of things that there are so many people who are wrapped up in their own heads, and sometimes that leads to self-awareness, sometimes it doesn't lead to self-awareness, but often being wrapped up in your head, whether you are personally very, very self-aware or not, it leads to a complete removal from situational awareness, from your awareness of your surroundings and the world. And so, it's one of these things that could help so many people if this kind of thing was just practiced and taught more. When I was in school, we had a general studies course whereby I learned a lot of stuff that I already knew, and otherwise was told a lot of things that really have no application or no relevance to me at all. Imagine what could have been, promoted if something like situational awareness and things like this were practiced and taught in schools and promoted that way, instead of being left as a thing taken for granted. But anyway, guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If there's any questions or any other things that you have, then drop them down in the comments there. And otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video or found it interesting, then please drop us a like, share this video, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care.